welcome back to the official week 3 of the Keto Powerlifting prep. Now, last week I said we were working at an intensity of 70%, up from 65% the previous week. Now, that was a little bit exaggerated, and it was possibly more like 67 to 68% for total weight. So keeping that in mind, this week we're going to be working between 69 and 71%. So it's slow and steady increments across the first half of this program, where as we try and get form right, we can gradually increase the weight, but not to a point where I'm under so much stress that I can't focus on these form points. So to talk about form, for the squats last week, the coach did actually pick up that my knees were starting to cave in slightly again, and he's just reiterated that I need to be focusing on pushing out the thighs, also pulling down that bar on my back, and the breathing and bracing components. So no major changes for the squats, just to try and reinforce the things I've already learnt. Now moving on to the bench press. Once again, the form on the bench press last week was actually quite good, considering it's been a steep learning curve. And the main focus point for this week is something that I'd never thought about before. It's actually the bar travel path. Now, I always assume that the bar travel path should be straight up and down, the shortest range of motion, but due to shoulder stability and strength throughout the move, the bar travel path actually wants to start at your chest and finish above your head. So it's not a straight bar travel path, and that's the main focus point for this week. But in saying that, I still need to focus on the feet positioning, the breathing and bracing, and setup. So the bench press may be a little bit tricky this week, but we'll see how we go. Now onto the deadlift. Once again, we're going to be focusing on that neutral spine position, and to implement this week I'll be looking at a spot on the floor as opposed to looking at a spot on the mirror. So by looking at a lower position, that should help to keep my head in a better neutral alignment and keep that neutral spine. Now the other thing that was noted last week was my extension at the top of the deadlift is a bit excessive. So this week we want to try and pull to the top of the movement, but not actually overextend that movement. So that's our main focus points for this week, while we also continue to focus on the breathing, bracing and setup, and keeping that bar travel path nice and close to the body with that neutral spine. So a little bit to take on board there. So I look forward to this week. I think it's going to be a little bit challenging trying to implement these extra focus points on top of the previous points, but I'm up for the challenge. So I'll try and get a bunch of footage around these lifts again, and then I'll come back a bit later in the week and we can have a recap. Alright, I'll see you soon. So squats this week, 115 kilos. 4 sets of 8 at an estimated RPE of 7. And as far as the form goes, I was focusing on pushing those knees out. I wasn't really pulling that bar down, but I had really good technique as far as the breathing and bracing. So I'm really happy with the way these squats went this week, and it'll be interesting to see what the coach has to say about it. And as far as the rest of the leg workout goes, there's not much to report. I maintained or increased my strength across all of the accessory exercises. So a great leg workout. On to the bench press, 75 kilos for 5 sets of 8. And I have to admit, I didn't get all the reps on this part of the workout. I was focusing so much on this bar travel path, trying to bring it to the bottom part of my chest and then up above my shoulders, that I neglected my feet positioning and back positioning to a certain extent. So it is a steep learning curve, and hopefully moving forward I can bring it all together next week. Now as far as the accessory exercises go, once again I was stronger if not the same throughout, so it looks like this programming is working. But a great chest workout even with the non-optimal form. So the deadlifts, 150 kilos for 4 sets of 6. And as you can see here, I was actually looking lower down, which was helping to keep that head alignment better at the top of the lift. As far as the neutral spine goes, it's not too bad, and I'm pretty happy with the way this workout went. So it'd be interesting to see what the next lot of focus points will be moving forward for the deadlift. Now, as far as the rest of the workout goes, once again, stronger or the same on all the accessory lifts, so a great back workout. Onto the shoulder day. So the military press, I was actually a little bit stronger, which is great considering I spent the day before driving 1,300 kilometres. But in saying that, I was a little bit weaker on one of the other exercises. But all in all, a great wrap up to the week, and I'm really happy with the way that this training went. So let's recap the week that was. Now, as far as the training goes, no complaints. Stronger across the board on all lifts except for the final set of the bench press where I missed one rep. Now, that could have been due to a few factors, but I feel that putting so much focus on the form and technique can at times detract away from my total strength. So hopefully moving forward we can rectify this and continue to hit the reps and target ranges. Now, also to talk about recovery this week, things were a little bit different from my usual standard, as I actually spent the week with friends in the Pilbara, and we're talking 40-degree days most days, and this also included an 11-kilometre hike to the top of the second tallest peak in Western Australia for a sunrise. And due to this holiday, I had a few extra alcoholic beverages than normal, so the recovery probably wasn't as perfect as it could be. However, you still have to live your life, and this holiday had been planned for quite some time prior to the Keto Powerlifting prep, so I'm not about to miss out on the opportunity to spend some time with some good friends and enjoy myself a little bit, especially as we're still in the early stages of this prep. Now, just to touch on nutrition, once again it was instinctive eating keto carnivore, and we've been eating plenty, so I'm not sure what the weight's doing this week, but basically it's steak, bacon, eggs, cheese and bulletproof coffees. And like I've said in the last few episodes, we're not too concerned about our weight at this stage, so it's something that we will start to focus on a bit further down the track. So I feel like that the form is starting to come together, but as always I'll be interested to see what the feedback from the coach is, because I don't feel like we're quite there yet, and I'm pretty sure that he'll have a few more things that he'll be trying to implement moving forward. So we'll find out what that is, and we'll leave that for the next video. So that's about it for week 3 of the Keto Powerlifting prep, and I'll just finish this video with the sunset clip from Mount Nameless in Tom Price, where me and my friends spent the evening, and it was a pretty magical sunset. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on next week's episode.